You've made a lot of money in shorting stocks.
Yeah, sure.
Hundreds of millions?
Sure.
$1 billion?
No.
Hundreds of millions.
Sure.
And you've chimed in on the whole GameStop thing.
Yes.
I've never gone along for this ride. Shout out to Roaring Kitty and all the money he's made and everything else like that. But I've always had a thing about shorting stocks that I've tried to avoid.
It's definitely smart.
And GameStop is a company that's been in the toilet for a very long time. I used to go there all the time before you could download games. But now that you could download games, there's really no reason to go to GameStop anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Very
it's
tough
the equivalent of Blockbuster or Tower Records or whatever you want, all these businesses that are no longer around. But these hedge funds were all shorting GameStop. And Roaring Kitty took it upon himself to feel there's more value in this company than companies were giving it credit for. So he got all these followers on the internet to suddenly drive the price up to catastrophic levels.
Well, I was one of the first moderators of WallStreetBets. A lot of people don't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
So you know Roaring Kitty?
I don't know him, but I remember he posted and all that, and then it blew up out of control.
Right. Robinhood, kind of got messed up in the process.
The whole thing went crazy. I mean, they hacked the stock market
and
broke it, yeah. Some call it a DDoS attack on the stock market, right?
Okay, I can see it as that. And, there was a big run-up of GameStop again, but then suddenly plummeted once again.
Yes.
And you've spoken out against this.
Well, I've spoken on both sides of it. I think that on one hand, if you do your Graham Dodd classic valuation analysis of GameStop, there isn't a lot there. It's like worth maybe, if you're being nice, $10. If you're being really nice. And then you ask yourself, well, what else is there? And there is something there, which is that they have a CEO that is like kind of just awesome at what he does. He's worth several $1 billion, which...
Wait, the GameStop CEO is worth several $1 billion?
$3 or $4 billion.
Why is he being the GameStop CEO?
That is a good question.
No, seriously.
That's a great question.
If I was a billionaire and they asked me what I want to do in my spare time, I wouldn't say run GameStop.
That is a fantastic question. I think that GameStop's basically a SPAC now, right? So it's just a company with a lot of cash. He's the boss. He could do whatever he wants with that cash. He's got this little crappy operating business, but I think that's not really the concern. Concern is, how do I take a pile? It's like Vivek. I mean, how do I take a pile of $3 or $4 billion? Vivek's great at pharma. This guy's great at retail. He did Chewy. He did a couple other things. I don't know how he made $3 or $4 billion, but regardless, he's done that. And so if he takes this pile of cash, he has a big task in front of him because the value of the company is like $12 billion or $8 billion. Well, the company's only worth half of that roughly. So he's got to turn that pile and double it, triple it, quadruple it for this to even be worthwhile. And he might just do it.
Would you invest in GameStop?
Yeah.
You would?
I wouldn't make it my life savings, but yeah.
Can you invest in the stock market though?
Yeah.
That's perfectly legal. Okay.
Yeah, you can't be banned from investing.
Yes, you can. Michael Milken, I think, was banned.
You can be banned, technically, from being an investment advisor and investing other people's money.
But it can't stop you from
virtually impossible. Now, here's the trick on that. The brokers don't want your business. If you're Michael Milken or Martin Shkreli, you can show up, which I have, with $40 million and say, "Hey, open an account for me." And they say, "Yeah, we don't want. We'd rather not be a client."
Well, yeah. I mean, you personally, you turned $2 million into $1 billion in pharma.
Something like that, yeah.
What do you think was your best investment ever?
Stocks or drugs? I mean, stocks, I've had a bunch of interesting ones. There was a company called Alexion that very early on I invested. It was maybe like $1 billion, $2 billion market value. And they got bought out for 40. That was a great run. I sold out early. But, I've made like 5Xs, 10Xs in stocks. I generally, unlike you, I don't hold on for the 40X or the 50X or the 100X like an NVIDIA or something like that. Some of those have been really great. But
I wish I invested.
Right?
But, I bought Google stock in 2010. That's
amazing.
Still have it. It's like 15X.
Yeah.
I bought Amazon stock relatively early in my investing career, probably 10X. I'm happy.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, pharma's a kind of a fucked up industry because those companies have like competitive advantages that are durable and stable.
Yeah.
And they like continue to compound. It doesn't happen in pharma. a lot of these drug companies, they basically are, if they have a good run, they usually will have like a bad luck run pretty quickly. There's no difference of Eli Lilly, Merck, and Pfizer other than like what luck they happen to have that year or the next year. So like the drug industry has just constantly been shifting, the same companies shifting up and down in value. Like Pfizer's had a really bad luck streak over the last 10 years. And Eli Lilly's had this really good luck streak. But if you look at the history of pharma, like it'll probably reverse.